Righto, Trina. Well, today's been an interesting day. It
has
been a day here in Tumbarumba. This is just the start, I would hope, of the council holding its various council meetings at our various locations in our local government area. You know, we've got the potential to go to Adelong, Batlow, Cancoban particularly, even out to Brungle, and just hold a council meeting in the relevant parts of our Snowy Valleys council area, which indicates that we've got an interest in the wider perspective of our, quite vibrant and exciting community. So we need to get around and get an understanding of all the issues that we confront in the various areas.
And when it comes down to it, Chaffey, I think what's really important is for people to understand that a council chamber doesn't make your council, and that's not the only place that we can hold a council meeting. And to actually come out into our communities around the local government area is so important, and to engage with people and to make the community understand that we don't see everything focused down in Tumut. The staff shouldn't be expected to always travel down there. And it's a really lovely drive. It's a beautiful part of the world. So,
look,
we should do it more often.
As you rightly point out, we just need to, spread our wings, for want of a better term, and get out there and engage with the community. So
it's more about what we do, not where we do it.
It's taken a while to transition, and we're slowly starting to get on top of some of the issues.
Now Tumut,
going back to Tumut, the Tumut Aerodrome Draft Master Plan was adopted today. We took on board a number of comments that were made. The majority
there were a lot of comments,
there were, I think,
made.
A significant number of submissions on the issue. One of the issues that came out that probably needs further examination, whilst it wasn't actually germane to the Aerodrome Draft Master Plan, was the need to look at providing reticulated water out there, and we've taken that on board, and we'll address that over the course of the future planning for the water supply system.
And I think it's really important when we talk about those sort of things, Chaff, is to also understand that as a council we're very, very careful of the expectations that we set. We don't want people to think because we're considering or that we're prepared to look at means that it's going to be a fait accompli and happen. We need to really seriously look. We have some huge financial challenges ahead of us, and anything that we do must be done in respect of how do we pay for it, not just now in implementing it, but also down the track.
The ongoing recurrent
That's right.
costs.
And the whole of life.
They're the biggest impact on council's finances. Is we can get grant funding for development of all these wonderful wants in our community, but consistent with those wants comes an ongoing and lingering requirement to, one, manage the depreciation, and two, the recurrent cost of running them. And every $1 million worth of recurrent costs actually adds somewhere between 12 and 14% to the rate base. And we've got to be very mindful that we just do not keep on increasing the rate base in our community for things that we may or may not need.
And I think the other thing that's really important in relation to the Aerodrome Master Plan that's now been adopted is that there were significant amendments made. Those amendments came about directly as a result of submissions that were made during the public exhibition period. And so that's why it's so important. If you see a document or there's an issue that concerns you and that those documents are going out on public exhibition, the only way that we can really get your feedback is for you to make those submissions. They are taken into consideration. They are included in amendments that are made. And I think that's really important because today we've also put a number of draft documents out there for exhibition as well.
And there'll be a new tab on the council's website, which you'll be able to go to sometime, we hope, next week, where you'll be able to identify all those issues that are out on public exhibition, so that you can make a comment on them. And look, we welcome your comment. It doesn't matter whether it's one line or half a dozen pages. It's important that people who have an interest make a submission, so we appreciate that.
And in talking that, the Tumut Town Centre traffic and parking study is out now will be probably about Monday if you're
Well,
looking for something to do.
Tuesday's a holiday, so let's say, towards the end of next week.
No, it'll be there Monday and
right,
they can spend
right,
Tuesday.
right. We live in hopes.
We live in hope. But do you know what? Irrespective of that, the draft documents are actually going to be on that new tab on the council site, and we really encourage you to have a look at it, have a read of it, and please make your submissions as to what you think is going to work well or what we need to improve.
To add on that, there's the draft companion and non-companionable animals policy out there for 28 days for people to comment on. I imagine we'll get a reasonable amount of feedback, so make sure if you've got an interest in that area, get in and make a submission.
Especially, and there was a lot of light-hearted banter around the table about cats being companion animals and the impact and some of the regulations that may come in. So for all you cat lovers out there, you really need to get in and read this document and make sure that you provide any feedback. Because we all joke about it, but they are our
a lot of
animals,
people, they're an important part of their lives,
Yeah,
and we understand that. But by the same token, with an animal comes a responsibility.
Exactly.
So. And look, the other issue is obviously next Tuesday's Anzac Day. I find Anzac Day very difficult to cope with, having had the opportunity to go not only to the Western Front in the First World War in France, but also to Gallipoli. And when you stand on the shores of Gallipoli and look up at the ramparts that they had to climb to get a foothold on the Gallipoli Peninsula, just I find it very difficult.
I find it very interesting that people at times can disrespect the significance and the reverence that goes with Anzac Day. And as the daughter of a returned serviceman who had active service, I'm a daughter-in-law, and also my husband's uncle died on the way over to Egypt. So it's a lot of significance, and I think we get there on the day and the emotion becomes very real, and you watch these people who not only support it or respect it, but who have actually lived it. And I think Anzac Day is a day that, as a community, it should never be turned political. It should never be used, or our diggers should never be used in any derogatory way. And I'd encourage everybody, get up, go to a dawn service. There's nothing more amazing than watching the sun come up and imagining how it must have been. You've been to Gallipoli and you've watched, but you think of the significance of what Anzac Day is all about, and it really does bring it back to, we provide our time on council because we care about our communities. These diggers gave their lives and dedicated their lives for a country that they believed in and family at home. So.
Not many not many pursuits in life where you sign an open cheque for your life.
No.
And anyway.
Anyway, how lucky are we that we're giving the honour on Tuesday to participate and to actually acknowledge and to make sure that we can bang the drum for what we believe in, and we can do it without fear of retribution of what can happen. So. Pretty special day.
It is a special day, and look, I think today's been a very interesting day. It just shows what potential we have to get around and engage with the people and experience what our Snowy Valleys Council has to offer.
And it's about the deliberation around the table. It's about the discussion, and it's about the engagement with community. It's not about the bricks and mortar, and it doesn't matter whether you're in a council chamber or whether you go into a hall. I think engaging with the community and the people. Yeah. Maybe just a really important thing we need to talk about is next week we do have the public hearings, or the presentation by Professor Joseph Drew in relation to the study that he has undertaken for the business case for either de-amalgamation or remaining amalgamated. There will be 2 public sessions, one in Tumut on Thursday and one in Tumbarumba on Friday.
Montreal Theatre, and here in Tumbarumba at the RSL Hall. And look, it's a golden opportunity for people to come in, listen to what Joseph Drew's identified, and to have an input into the final presentation of the report, so that council can consider it, and if deemed appropriate, refer it on to the minister. But look, it's you know, for those who have an interest in the future well-being of the communities they live in, it's important that you engage in that process, and it's, as Trina has said, it's in Tumut on the Thursday and in Tumbarumba on the Friday. So
this is not our decision. This is not up to the 9 people who sit around a table who have a vote. We are the liaison with our community. It's the decision that you would like us to make, that you want us to sell, and if the business case is to put forward for either an amalgamation to remain or the de-amalgamation, then it needs to come very clearly from you, the members of our community. We get to vote, you get to
we get to
us.
Represent your
Yes.
point of view, and
Yep.
that's essentially what we, in the whole process, have tried to. We've stood aloof as councillors insofar as we've had a contribution, but basically the document is the contribution of the community, and what we've got from Professor Drew is his long experience in local government and what he's identified as the issues. So,
and let's be honest, there will not be a problem with Tumbarumba filling its hall for people who are passionate about what they are hoping or wanting to hear, or the input that they have had. Tumut has not been as vocal or as engaged, and I would implore everybody, please come along, hear the discussion, be a part of the discussion. This is a decision we all need to make together.
be a part of the solution. That's
Yes.
it's important. And,
It is.
Look, I think it's taken a while to get here. It's an opportunity to, for want of a better term, put this whole issue with some sort of finality. And unless we do that, and we only can do that with your help. And anyway.
And on that note, I think let's give
sums it up.
Let's just do a shout out today. Big thumbs up to the staff of Snowy Valleys
That's right.
Council. You know, we've got some amazing staff who work day in and day out, and it's not always easy. Bit like us, sometimes we cop flack that maybe we haven't even had a part of, but the staff also, at times where the criticism that isn't theirs.
I think we signed up for the flack.
We did.
We put our names up, and you know, consistent with that comes the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Whereas the staff, you know, they didn't sign up for that. They signed up to do their job. And
so thank you.
We're very appreciative of it.
And grateful that you choose to be a part of Snowy Valleys Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.